Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis on the House Republican Israel Caucus and Foreign Affairs Committee. Thanks very much for being with us this evening. So we still don't have a speaker. There's been lots of turmoil, especially on the Republican side. Will there be a speaker this week, and will there be a vote on aid to Israel that's going to help send that country the funds that it wants?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we will get a speaker this week. We have to get a speaker this week. There are too many world events taking place. Our friend, ally, Israel needs our support. We need to make sure we secure our border. We need to use the leverage in the upcoming appropriations process to get our border secure. We passed our legislation in May. Senator Schumer refuses to take action. But seeing what we're happening around the world, it would be ridiculous if the Senate and the White House did not work with us to finally secure our border here at home. I'm hopeful that my colleagues in the Republican House will put aside our differences and see that we must unify for this moment. There needs to be leadership. We do not often see it from the White House, and the Senate, unfortunately, it does not take up a lot of the legislation that we've passed over or pass their own legislation. So we must unite as a conference so we can move our country forward. There's just too much at stake at this time.
The country appears to be backing Israel. In the latest ABC News poll, when asked, does the United States have a responsibility to protect Israel, 53% answered yes, 43% answered no. But then the interesting thing is, when asked how the president has handled this war, do you approve of President Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war? Only 41% of Americans actually approve. Now, even some of the president's detractors have said he's been very strong and vocal in his support of Israel. Do you see a problem with the way that the president has handled things thus far?
Well, I do say that the president has been vocal in his support, and I appreciate that. I'm happy that he is finally organizing those charter flights to get American citizens out. My colleagues and I had been calling for that. It did take 6 days, however, and after what we saw in Afghanistan and Ukraine, it should have been quicker. I think more of the issue is the role that the president has played over the last 2 years in reducing the respect that America has on the world stage. I mean, when you see the appeasement policies going from maximum pressure under President Trump to lifting sanctions, lifting waivers, the $6 billion that was announced, even if it's still frozen, it was still announced that he was going to release that to Iran. All of that has an impact, okay? The withdrawal from Afghanistan. We are seeing, unfortunately, a president that is reactive. Now it's great that he's trying to be tough on Hamas and this terrorist organization. However, we have not been tough on Iran, which provides 70% of Hamas's funding. So that is, I think, the difference. And so I am happy that our Secretary of State Blinken has been in the region speaking to our allies, trying to prevent this from spreading any further. It's great that the carriers are there in the Mediterranean. It's great that now we're also helping get Americans home. But we need to prevent these types of things from happening. And when America shows strength, it deters this from the very beginning. We've said this with Russia invading Ukraine. We're seeing it now, unfortunately, with our good friend Israel.
In our last 30 seconds, your fellow Republican, Congressman Corey Mills, organized this flight that has brought Americans out of Israel. Just give us your thoughts about that.
I think that's real leadership. He is someone who did special operations in the military. He actually has been helpful to my office. We have a number of citizens from my district that are in Florida that he has been helpful with. I also want to say thank you to Greece, to Cyprus, for providing those humanitarian the clearance for American citizens to be going through their country to return home. We want to see every American come home safely, and we need to support our ally during this time so they can fully destroy Hamas's terrorist organization. But America, we need to be strong and united and support our good friend. We thank Representative Corey Mills for his service.
Army veteran, did a spectacular job, and he says he's not done yet. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Fox reports extend